So I'm down in my studio, surprise, surprise. I am using a new product, which I found on Amazon. I had never used it before, and it's called Rub and Buff. It's a wax-based product, and I really like this. I buy a lot of old frames, and you know, kind of junky wood a lot of times, and this stuff works great on it. I just use a piece of old cardboard and a paintbrush, but I want to show you the difference. This is the gold, and I thought it was way too shiny, but I kind of like this effect because if you look real close, there's kind of like a green in it almost. So I want to tone this down a little bit. So this is where I use the the rub and buff right here, and that's the part I haven't used. And I just wanted to show you. You see, to me, this is almost brassy. It's so bright. Now, when I'm done, I'm gonna have another video that I'm gonna go over this whole thing and tone this whole tone it all down with a stain. So I'll do that after this dries. It'll probably take overnight to dry, but I just wanted to show you right now. This is the rub and buff side, and that's the old section side. And I wanted to do that before I finish. So, and I'll do a video of how I tone it down after this. And basically all I do is just take a brush, kind of a medium-sized brush, put it in the stuff. I kind of dabble it a little bit, and then you can see I'll put it on there just so it's, and then I take a cloth and wipe it down a little to make it a little more even. So that's how you put it on. And we'll go to the video after this and I'll put them both together. Okay, so I've come back to this frame and I wanted to show you, this is after I did the rub and buff, and then I put a stain on the top, and you can see the difference between this, and that. So you can see it's much richer looking, and I just think it looks so much dark. It just gives it just such an incredible finish. And the stain, just to show you real quick, let me show you the stain I'm using. It's a color called Mocha. Minwax makes it, and typically what I do is I put that on with just a paper towel. But now for this frame, I bought this frame too, and I'm going to do the same thing, probably the opposite. I'll do the gold buff here, I'll do a little gold buff on the top just so that little finishes, and then this is actually a raised part of this frame. And I think the frame is gorgeous. There was a picture in it from, here it is, that's the picture that was in it, and I hate to get rid of that, but I didn't like this white. And there's little nicks and stuff in it, and I think once I do the stain and the gold buff, it'll start to, it'll just kind of blend back so you won't see it. But one of the things with my artwork, I like to put these original frames on. I think they have a lot more character than modern frames today. And even on this modern frame, you know, I wasn't crazy about it, but this is the difference between that. Look how shiny that is. And now that's the part with the stain, and I just did that little corner. So I'm basically gonna do the same thing with this frame, except I'm gonna stain this first. This one I did the rub and buff first, but this one I'm gonna stain first, get this into a dark color, and then highlight this gold with the rub and buff. So I'll use the dark mocha stain on the background and use the gold buff to do the highlights. So I hope this helps somebody. And you know, a lot of these frames, you know, they're not perfect. You know, there's a little nick there and there's a little nick here. But once I cover this, I think you're really not even gonna notice it. So hopefully that will help. If you guys have any questions, just please message me.